buttons are on the back? Hey there everybody, Phil here for Android Central, and yes, it is the LG G2. So we saw this a few weeks ago in New York, and now we've got it here. 5.2 inch 1080p display. It's full HD IPS they call it, so cool. You'll notice no buttons, and I love this. Double tap it to turn it on, double tap it to turn it off. I love this feature. It's so much fun, it's ridiculous. I'm just gonna keep doing it all day. No, we'll look at the rest of the phone. How about that? So, relatively thin device. They haven't gone super thin. You've got the SIM card door there on the left-hand side. Nothing on the other side. Down at the bottom, you've got stereo speakers. Those look kind of nice, actually. Micro USB and the headphone jack. And you'll notice, yeah, no power button yet, because there it is. It's on the back with the volume buttons. This takes some getting used to, guys. Here's a nice close look so you can get a better shot of it. And yeah, volume up, volume down, and power in the middle. So here's how it works. I mean, they say, look, it's a large-ish phone. We're going to move everything to the back because that's where your fingers naturally rest anyway, right? So there it is on the power button, and you're just turning it on and off. Now, you can also do other things with the volume buttons. Volume up, if you hold it down, is supposed to launch the QMemo app, and it vibrates in my hand here, but the app's not quite launching. I'm willing to bet this isn't finished software. Hold down volume down, though, and it does launch the camera app. And once the camera app is launched, you can use the volume buttons to activate the shutter. So that's kind of cool. Nicely done by LG there. So as long as we got it powered up, let's take a look at the software here, and you get a whole bunch of pop-ups when you first start up this thing. Now watch how fast this UI is. This is a Snapdragon 800, guys. This is one of the first Snapdragon 800 devices we've seen. 2.26 gigahertz quad core if you really worry about the specs. You'll notice the menu here, the notification options are really kind of busy, but you've got your Q slide and your quick apps up there at the top. Notice the settings button there on the sound bar. I keep hitting that trying to get to the settings, but you gotta hit that one below it. And here's where you get to the settings menu. And a lot like another Korean company has done, they've split it up into 4 sections here. And you know, you got those weird buttons that LG uses, and that's fine. Whole bunch of stuff to go through here. And one of the big specs they're talking about is the audio quality and the addition of the Vienna Voice Choir for ringtones. So I won't make you listen to them all right now. What else we got? A whole bunch of stuff under display. Now you notice the buttons down here, right? They're on-screen buttons, but you don't actually have a multitasking button. We've talked about this before. That is a menu button, okay? You can get right back into the system settings from it, but you can change that with this front touch buttons section. And so you can actually get a 4th button on there if you want, and you can put one of the Q slide button is what you can do, and then you can rearrange them. That's kind of neat, I guess. If you don't want to use their weird slide aside multitasking, and I say weird, have to actually give it a shot yet. You don't have to. We'll go through that in a minute. As long as we're here, let's look at the software. Android 4.2.2. That's cool. I would anticipate a 4.3 update at some point. No, I was talking about the slide aside, right? So this is their version of multitasking. So you launch some apps, and then you use 3 fingers to shove them over to the side, and then it kind of pauses them, and they're just there, and then you can get them back, okay? So you see that's actually what we just did with that. If you turn it off, you will then get the option to have a normal just multitasking, right? So we turn it off, and flying back through here, let's in fact launch a couple apps. We'll launch Maps, and how about YouTube? Everything's freaking out because it's the very first time they've run, and that's fine. So come on, hold it down, and you get your traditional multitasking. So it's there. Now, I don't even know what version of the phone this is, but the US phones might well work a little different in that respect. We will see. But this is not one of the US carrier versions, okay? So we'll turn that back on, and let's see what else we want to play with. How about, I tell you what. Let's zoom back out for a second and bring in some other siblings, right? So here is the original LG Optimus G. I guess now it's just called the LG G, because they dropped the Optimus name. So you can see how much bigger this one is. We're up to 5.2 inches now. The original Optimus G, just the G, had this cool glass back, right? Kind of like the Nexus 4. In fact, that's the exact same thing. We're back to plastic now. I like the glass, I think. The plastic's okay. In fact, speaking of the Nexus 4, made by LG, here it is. So you can see the similarities. I've heard a few people say that the front of the G2 looks a lot like the G4, or the Nexus 4. I don't know. Come on, turn off, double tap off, double tap off. There we go. So I don't know. I mean, it's a lot smaller. You can see the size difference, 4.7 versus versus 5 inches is a big difference there. So here's the big daddy, right? Here's the LG Optimus G Pro. This came out in the spring. We got our first look at it in Barcelona. You can really see the size difference there. So, you know, we're up from 5.2 to, I forget what it was, like 6 feet tall or something like that. It was huge. So there you go, a new look at the brand new LG G2 and the weird back camera and buttons and all that good stuff. See you later.